Good title. I mean, yeah, it's kind of indicative of how I felt at the end of this movie, but good title nonetheless. The Last Victim is brought to us by Naveen Chathraparam, didn't butcher that at all, and stars Ali Larter, Ron Perlman, and Ralph Ineson. A neo-western thriller set in the American Southwest following Sheriff Hickey trying to solve the worst case he's ever seen in his small town, likely caused by a violent local gang led by a fearsome criminal. So The Last Victim is a revenge flick. I've been getting a lot of those lately. And I love me some revenge flicks, and I also love me some Ron Perlman. So upon hearing about this flick, I was a little excited about it. And then I watched the movie. Basically, we got a small group of criminals who are trying to dispose of some bodies out in the desert. At the same time, we also have a husband and wife couple who go out to this desert for the afternoon. They witness the men disposing of the bodies, they kill the husband, no, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the trailer, and now the wife, played by Ali Larter, is running for her life with the murderers in pursuit. That's it really, not a whole lot more, and you don't need a whole lot more. That could be a fun movie. And at times, there are things about this movie that are entertaining, that are fun. But at other times, there are things in this movie that just kind of drag the fuck on and get pretty boring and nonsensical. My biggest issue with this movie is not really so much the story, but the execution of said story. We got a woman running around in the desert trying to get away from some bad men until she's just had it up to here and she starts fighting back. Sounds like a good time. And admittedly, in those moments when she does finally decide to stop running and fight back, they're pretty cool. I had a good time with these scenes. It's the other 80% of the movie and its execution that I had a problem with. There is so much time in this movie that just absolutely nothing is happening. People are on screen and sometimes they're talking and I guess they're doing things. They're moving around doing tasks, but nothing of any real consequences happen. There's also this whole subplot of the police headed up by Ron Perlman and his partner trying to figure out what's going on. And this part of the film was a bit of a double-edged sword because when it came to Perlman and his partner, I really enjoyed their interactions. Some of the best performances we get in the movie are in these scenes, but these scenes just aren't really that interesting. We don't really care about what's happening here. We want to see what's happening with this woman running around out in the desert. We want to see about her confrontations with these murderers. Or at least we think we do, because half the time when we go back to these characters, it's just them walking around looking for her and her just like sitting in a ditch thinking about what she's going to do. We're not really seeing a lot of action. And we'll periodically get these like poetic introspective narrations from Ralph Ineson's character, who is the main bad guy in the film. But none of it quite goes together. I don't mean like story-wise. I mean, I understood what was going on. It's not like it was confusing or anything. It was just fucking boring half the time. And the few times that Ali Larter's character does have interactions with these guys and takes on some type of revenge or fights back, it actually seems a lot better than it really is because you've been so bored the rest of the time. And then there's the final third of the movie. The movie takes like a hard left turn all of a sudden. All these new revelations come out and suddenly our bad guys have all these new motivations that we were never aware of. And the reason we weren't aware of them was because, as far as we could tell, they just didn't exist. They don't pop up until this last third. That and the big twist that happens just doesn't make any fucking sense. I feel like it was put in there because they knew that their story so far really wasn't that exciting, so they wanted to throw something in there to throw you off kilter. But it doesn't really. It doesn't even really surprise you. Right before it happens, you just see it coming a mile away. They telegraph that shit. Now, not beyond that scene, because before this, there was absolutely nothing that made you think that some of the characters that do some of the things they do closer to the end would ever do these things. It's just all pretty fucking nonsensical, and it kind of irritated me. Not that the movie was like really all that great up to this point, and admittedly, it wasn't boring during these scenes, but it was just stupid. And I guess if I gotta choose between stupid and boring, yeah, sure, I'll pick stupid, but it doesn't mean it's that much better, because it's still fucking stupid. And then there's the very end of the movie, and they did try and do something a little different here, and I do appreciate what they were going for, and I even kind of like the idea behind what they were doing. I just dislike the execution. It's like every good idea they have in this movie, there's another bad idea to counteract it. Kind of like a one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. And at the end of the movie, it just kind of leaves you empty. You're just kind of like, eh. Sure, there was a little bit of good shit there, but hey, it was still shit. Now, when it comes to the performances in the film, I gotta say that everybody here actually did a really good job. Some people, such as Ron Perlman and Ralph Ineson, did a fantastic job. These two guys, every scene that they're in is pretty captivating. Even the ones that are kind of boring, they actually make up for it. Remember I mentioned a lot of those scenes with Ron Perlman in them were just kind of useless, and I was just kind of like, we don't need this. The great performance he was given in these scenes, and as charismatic as he is, it kind of made him bearable. It's a bit of a shame that his talent was wasted here because he did a great job in the performance department. Ralph Ineson as well. He was a very menacing bad guy. There was a scene in the beginning of the movie where he sits down with another character and has a conversation, and it was awesome. Now those sentiments do extend to everybody else in the movie. Nobody did bad here. Ali Larter, I mean, she was fine. She didn't really have a lot to do or to work with, but given what she did have, she did a good job with. Everybody gave really good performances that are elevated even more, seeing as how they are in this kind of not so great movie. Their performances even seem better. Guys, there's not really much more that's worth saying about this movie. It wasn't that great. I mean, it's not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but there are quite a few parts in it that are kind of boring, and overall it's just kind of eh. The story could have been entertaining if executed better, and we get some really good performances, but it's just drawn out way too much. The pace is super slow, and the final third of the movie just totally shits the bed in every single way. I got a soft spot for revenge movies, and I really wanted to like this movie, but at the end of the day, it's really only worth checking out on USA Up All Night.
It's not worth it!
Hi, I'm Gilbert Godfrey.
Hi, it's Miranda on USA.
It's so big. It's just not worth it!
I really wish this movie was better because it's got a lot of good things going for it, but unfortunately, it's got a lot of bad things in it as well. So if you do decide to go watch this thing, just be sure to bring a pillow, get comfortable, and I'll see you in the morning. So there it is, guys, my review of The Last Victim. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below, become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys, and possibly check out my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Silverlock and Marge G. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Albuquerque.
You end up with only two choices. Escape it, or change it. And it seems I can't escape it.
So seeing as how I was just so disinterested in this movie, I don't really have anything else to say about it like I usually do at this part after the little clip there. I'll ask this question. Some of you who frequent my channel will notice that now I've got this microphone here on screen with me. I haven't always had that. Actually, my microphone's always been off screen, and it still is. It's right there. You can't see it, but it is there. But I've been having some issues out of that mic, so that's why I've been using this one recently. And just curious, what do you guys think? Do you prefer this look, or do you prefer the other look? Does it matter? Which one do you think I should go with? Should I stick with this? Should I try and fix that mic so I don't have one on screen with me anymore? Which one is it? Does it really matter? These are the things that keep me up at night. Which one should I use? Or probably you just don't give a fuck. Pretty sure it's that last one.